advanced from 4G to 5G, and we are moving towards the designing of 6G. With the network, as the network grows, the way we connect with one another has drastically changed. Many times we are connected over the network than as with respect to the personal sharing. So one of the means of connecting with our establishing a network with one another is the social media. Social media, as they bring together people along with the terms of good incidents, many bad incidents also happens, which we call it as the part of cyber threats, cyber crimes. And cyberbullying is a part or a concern of cyber crimes. So, which is going to, because of these cyber crimes, that is cyberbullying, we are affected through our networking, through the mental issues and well-being of the human beings. So, how these cyber crimes, especially the cyber bullying, how we are going to encounter is the part of the technical talk today. So our work, my work, we will be focusing on the federated learning, because when we try to tackle this cyberbullying, how they happen, what they happen, we'll just go ahead. So using traditional means, it is not that much effective. So we move from one technology to another technology. So we are going to use, are going to see how federated learning will give a beneficial way with the privacy concerns, how we are going to adhere and to tackle this cyber bullying. So first and foremost, what is cyberbullying? Cyberbullying is nothing but an intentionally using the digital platforms or technology to harm or harass or threaten somebody else. So it is a part of cybercrime. So cybercrime, many variants of cybercrimes are there where any crime committed over the digital platforms. So, but when a crime on the digital platform is intentionally for the harming or harassing or threatening a person, becomes the cyberbullying. It is often in terms of social harms, and it is going to pose a significant security threat. Social harm in the sense, when we are connected socially in that social network, how a person can harm or harass or threaten somebody else. Okay, it is a form of how social media, or not only a social media, how a messaging app, which is a digital form of exchanging the messages, how one can harm you, how can one harass you, or a forum of people where you can be threatened, or any of the online gaming environment where all these threats, harms can be encountered. Those becomes a part of cyberbullying. So when cyberbullying happens, when some cyber threat happens, it can exploit the emotional or personal vulnerability of a person. So we need to tackle them based on how the techniques, what are the concerns, we are going to check it on that. So cyberbullying can be like an harassment. Means someone repeatedly sending some rude messages, threatening messages to someone else. That can be a part of cyberbullying. Impersonation. Someone pretending to be another person and exchanging their unknown information for their beneficial purpose. Through that, they can damage the reputation of a person. That can be a cyberbullying. Outing. Outing in the sense, sharing uncompromised information without the consent. Exclusion. We are in a group, we can, if someone is excluded intentionally into that group. In a message group, all are allowed, but one few people are not allowed in the group. That is also a sort of cyberbullying. Okay, without not letting other group activities to known to few people. Doxing, flaming, many types of actions are available, actions are there, which can be termed as cyberbullying. One and most important one is the cyber stalking, where a person is continuously followed in terms of their actions which they do on the online. Posting information on your Facebook, Twitter, or Instas, how people are, where they are connected, what they are doing. Stalking can also be a sort of cyberbullying. Based on that, messaging or giving an harassment thing is a cyberbullying. So many types of cyberbullying are part of cyber crimes. When there are so many cyber crimes committed as cyberbullying, what it will do? What are the effects of it? First and foremost, the cyberbullying leads to emotional and mental issues. The person who is being bullied, called as victims, can develop anxiety or may lead to depression or may go to a self-esteem which is very, very low. And sometimes the stress and chronic stress which happen because of these mental and emotional issues can lead to suicidal incidents also. Because of cyberbullying, the academic and social consequences also varies. Academically, they will drop out. Socially, they will exclude themselves. If they lose some games in the online because of the online gaming, if somebody bullies them, and they may segregate themselves from the flock and may get isolated. That is isolation. Because of cyberbullying, they may get some legal and reputational consequences. The reputation of an individual can be ruined. Because of somebody else impersonation, impersonation and the posting of information in their name, the legal consequences can also be happening. Because of these harassment, defamations, identity thefts, many legal and reputational consequences we have seen in our societal issues. So as this cyberbullying poses an important threat in terms of cyber crimes, this needs to be encountered. So the best way to encounter them is using the latest technology which are available in our technical fields. So as we are all aware of how we are going to, for day-to-day life, we are using our artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms to tackle any sort of work we want to do, any sort of updations we want to do. Same cyber crimes can also be encountered using the AI and ML technologies. So there are three, we can differentiate this AI and ML technology into three ways, how the information is processed based on the availability of the data, how the security we need to preserve for the users. AI and ML architecture can be differentiated in terms of centralized, distributed, and federated. The information is same, but how they are processed, how they are sent over the network, where they are processed, and how we are going to retrieve the response of the processed information based on that, this architecture is being designed. In a centralized system, as you know, it is a central server where all the information are sent to the central server, where their algorithms are processed with the available data and sent back with respect to the responses. In a distributed, same data is distributed so that information is processed simultaneously in different sites, distributed way, and then they are reverted back. Whereas in a federated system, which is going to take the inputs from centralized and distributed, in the sense data is being locally processed. Each individual site acts as a centralized thing. Each individual site, along with the federated things, they are going to simultaneously process in the local centralized system and give the results. There is no way of sharing the information to the outside or global thing. Once the data is processed locally, they will be sent to the global for further processing. So this is a decentralized machine learning approach. We have centralized, distributed, whereas federated is a decentralized way of processing the information. The data, here the local data we tell as the local data, are fed to the local servers, which are competent enough to process the information with the local things. When informations are processed locally, the privacy of the information will be preserved. The transit of the privacy things are preserved. When the data is sent for the centralized or for the distributed, there are some cases where the data discrepancies happen. The privacy of the information can be lost. By using federated learning, we overcome that hurdles. So we update the data, whichever is processed locally, they are updated with the federated learning models with some of the techniques and technologies, and we give the results how they have been tackled. In the sense, whatever data we gather from the social media, we collect it as a local data, process them, and segregate them as which are cyber crimes with respect to cyberbullying, whether they are cyberbullied or non-cyberbully comments. Based on that, we preserve the data and tell this is a safe zone, not a safe zone, like that, and tell that data is going on. So this is how a